We're 50-50 shot here. So that was our last action. So at the end of the investigation phase, we move. We'll move to the middle one. Come on, give me this one. Yeah, we got it. Haha, we found the tight turn. The stars are right, and that means it's time for another episode of The Whisper in Darkness. I'm your host, the Man from Leng. Thank you very much for joining me today. On this episode, we are continuing with our playthrough of the Innsmouth Conspiracy campaign with Silas Marsh. We are going to tackle horror in high gear. Silas had a little bit of trouble piloting the boat in the Devil Reef scenario. Let's see how he does behind the wheel. This is a blind playthrough. I have not had a chance to play this scenario yet, so apologies if I make any mistakes. Obviously, there are spoilers through if you care about that sort of thing. If you enjoy this type of content, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Before we get started, I'd like to thank the patrons of this channel for their tremendous support. The Arkham Horror LCG community is amazing, and these people have gone above and beyond to bring you content like these playthroughs. If you'd like to support the channel's goals and see your name on this list, head over to patreon.com, sign up for a tier of your choice, and claim your rewards. That would be awesome. Special thanks to Cole Monroe-Chitty for the amazing art that graces the channel, Nicole Fiscus for the new Whisper in Darkness logo that I use for the podcast, and Nate Lost in Time and Space for the intro as well as the overlays. Thank you very much. I couldn't do it without you. Without further ado, let's get started. Welcome back, Arkham Horror fans. Man from Leng here. On today's episode, I am bringing you a playthrough. That's right, we still do playthroughs here on the channel. I have been neglecting them of late as we have been pumping out the reviews for the various sets that have been released. But I know there are members of the community who enjoy these playthroughs, so I'm bringing you one today. We're going to continue our campaign through the Innsmouth Conspiracy with Silas Marsh. As you may remember, many months ago, we played Devil Reef, and unfortunately, we did not do very well. Poor Silas might be a sailor, but he proved himself not to be up to the task. The boat malfunctioned, and he was unable to fix it, and we were surrounded by enemies, and in the end, we only earned 2 measly experience points to show for it. Hopefully, we will do better today when we jump in the vehicles and race towards the lighthouse. I am hoping to wrap up this campaign in the next couple weeks so we can jump into the edge of the earth. Let me know in the comments down below if you have a preference for an investigator for me to play. I've got a few ideas, but I will certainly accept suggestions from the community. Speaking of members of the community, if you are a patron of the channel, stay tuned for the Patreon post-game show where I discuss my perspective on the scenario that we just played and talk about how I felt the deck did and how I felt the scenario fared. So we are playing Silas Marsh. This deck is based on Silas Marching to Glory by Manea13 over on Arkham DB. As you may remember, the goal of this deck is to evade anything that doesn't need killing with a combination of Peter Sylvester and Track Shoes. We would like to defeat enemies with the Hunter keyword or enemies that are worth VP with Meat Cleaver and the Sea Change Harpoon. We can gather clues with a combination of Old Keyring, Look What I Found, Belly of the Beast, and True Understanding. And we can use the Old Keyring multiple times with Scrounge for Supplies and Resourceful. Now, after Devil Reef, we finally got a chance to spend some of our hard-earned XP. We had saved up a total of 9 XP over the previous scenarios, so we made some substantial changes. Of course, we upgraded to Peter Sylvester 2, which is a no-brainer. We get extra willpower as well as that agility bump. We added a copy of Alter Fate to protect us against treacheries that Silas simply is unable to pass. We removed the 2 copies of Look What I Found and replaced them with the skill Sharp Vision. And in order to play Alter Fate, we had to remove 1 copy of True Understanding. We are set up and ready to go here in Octagon. We've got Silas Marsh. We have our roads set up here. We have 2 copies of the Innsmouth Road. We are at the fork in the road in Alina Harper's car, and we have 2 locations in front of us. So our goal is to reach Falcon, I believe it's Falcon Point Lighthouse. We have a deck of many, many locations. There are 11. The Falcon Point Lighthouse is, I believe, shuffled into 3 locations at the bottom. 2 or 3 locations, so we've got quite a few locations to burn through before we can get to the lighthouse. And hopefully we will be able to make it there in one piece. Agenda 1A is The Chase is On, version 1. On your way to Falcon Point, you are ambushed by agents of the Order. As an additional cost for you to move while not in a vehicle, you must spend 2 actions. So obviously, we're going to want to stay in our vehicle. Leaving the vehicle and trying to go on foot is simply not viable. Forced at the end of the round, starting with the rearmost location, set each location with no vehicles, enemies, or investigators aside out of play, or add it to the victory display if it has victory X and no clues on it. Stop when you reach a location with at least 1 vehicle, enemy, or investigator, or the location behind the rearmost investigator. So, since we're playing solo, at the end of this round, say if we don't move from the fork in the road, we'll remove this location on the left-hand side. Act 1A is Pedal to the Metal. Your only chance is to reach Falcon Point before your pursuers catch up to you. Each enemy gains Hunter, so we are going to be chased relentlessly by every enemy in the encounter deck. Forced, at the end of each investigation phase, each vehicle that is running must move to a connecting road location of the driver's choice. So every investigation phase we have to pick one of the locations in front of us and move to it. Now, some of these locations are the long way around, which is obviously bad for us. That will chew up time, and we will not be able to make much progress. Both of these locations here on the right-hand side are connected to the fork in the road, but they are not connected to one another. And our objective is to drive to Falcon Point as fast as you can. You will be instructed when to advance. We are playing Horror in High Gear on Standard difficulty. The skulls are -1, -3 instead if there are 6 or fewer locations remaining in the road deck. So once the road deck gets whittled down a little bit, the skulls will become -3s. The cultists are -1. For each point you fail by, an investigator in your vehicle places one of their clues on your location. That's pretty nasty. Especially for poor Silas, who has trouble getting clues in the first place. So we're going to want to make sure we don't fail skill tests when we're drawing cultists. Tablets are -2. For each point you fail by, an investigator in your vehicle loses 1 resource. And the elder things are -4. If you fail, resolve the hunter keyword on each enemy in play. All right, I think we are ready to draw our opening hand here and get this game started. This should be, who knows, this could end quickly, or maybe maybe we'll be able to finish it off. We'll see. I've been playing a lot over the past couple days and have been doing pretty well, so I'm hoping that that luck will continue. We get an old key ring. Siren's Call, Lucky, Quick Thinking, and Lucky. Well, I want to keep the old key ring. So Siren's Call goes right away. We get Not Without a Fight. So we've got a couple luckies. We are in our vehicle. I will go over the vehicles here in a moment, but we are sitting in our vehicle at a 5-shroud location. That's not going to do... We're not going to be able to investigate that with Silas, so I think we're going to be moving pretty quickly. So what we will have to do... Let's mulligan most of this hand, I think. Lucky is nice, but it's not going to help us immediately. Let's see if we can't get some more assets. There's a Resourceful, a Take Heart, a Quick Thinking, and Silas's Net, which can help us with evasion attempts. So we didn't draw an ally, which I was hoping to see, but not a very impressive hand, to be honest. Take Heart and Resourceful aren't going to help us immediately. I guess we could do a cheeky investigate here at the fork in the road and fail to draw a couple quick cards, but that's about it. So vehicles, of course, are the main point of this scenario. Vehicles have 2 sides, the stopped and running sides. So when a car is stopped, There's obviously a limit to investigators in this vehicle. This vehicle is stopped. As an action, if you are this vehicle's driver, you start the car, flip this vehicle over. And the running side, again, limit 2 investigators per vehicle. This vehicle is running. Investigators cannot enter or leave it. If you are this vehicle's driver, draw the top card of the encounter deck, then move this vehicle to a connecting road location max once per round. If you are this vehicle's driver, you stop the car, flip this vehicle over. What this means is our vehicle is running. Each turn, we have the option of drawing an encounter card to move the vehicle once, or we're going to move automatically at the end of each investigation phase. So that is what we have to do. I think that's about it. I think we're ready to go. So let's get our actions here and see how things go. All right, let's gain our 3 actions and let's go to turn 1. All right. Well, there's no way we're going to be able to investigate this 5-shroud location, even with an old keyring, but I would like to get it on the table. We could do a cheeky investigate and play Take Heart, fail the test, and get some cards and resources, which would be good for the long run. We do have the net. I think we'll just take the automatic move this turn and just take a turn to set up. So first action, let's play the old keyring for 1 resource. Second action, let's investigate. We can investigate while we're in the car. I had to look that up. I wasn't sure if you could investigate while the car was running, but apparently that's okay. So we're going to go 2v5. Even if we reduce the shroud value by 2, we're still at 2v4. So we're just going to fail this test and hopefully gain some cards and resources. First draw of the day is a -1. So we would have been 1v3. So we will draw 2 cards. We get an Inquiring Mind and Alina Harper. There is an ally. And we gain some resources as well. So the question is, do we play Alina? She gives us 1 intellect and 1 agility. And the first action we perform each turn does not deal attacks of opportunity. I think we'll play her out. We've got the resources, so let's play her for 4 resources. So Alina comes down. That's going to do it for this turn. So we've got Silas is now resourceful, quick thinking, and inquiring mind down on the table. We now have 3 intellect, which is better, and 5 agility, which is good. All right, so let's walk through this. Enemy phase, nothing. Upkeep, we draw a copy of Lucky at the end of the investigation phase. So we have to do that at the end of the investigation, not the end of the round. At the end of the round is when we remove the locations. Okay, so at the end of the investigation phase, each vehicle that is running must move to a connecting road location of the driver's choice. All right, well, let's just go to this one. We'll go to the bottom one. Why not? We don't know what any of these are. It is the long way around. Oh, no. All right, it has the Road 1 keyword. After a vehicle enters long way around, place 1 doom on the current agenda. This may cause the current agenda to advance. That vehicle cannot leave long way around until the end of the next round. Okay, so I think what we have to do here, we have to go and get a copy of, I believe these are all the long way arounds. So we put 1 there and 1 there, and we shuffle up those locations, and we do that. So those locations are in front of the long way around. And then So we cannot leave. So after vehicle, place 1 doom on the current agenda. So let's do that. All right, so I looked it up. I did something wrong here. I need to fix something quickly. So what we will do, we don't know which one of these is which, so we'll just have to flip it over. Flip this over. Okay, so that's the long way around. So that goes back. We just get the one location. We just get the one location, and it's from the real deck, so we know it's a good location. All right, so we're going the long way around for the first one. We can't leave until the end of the next round, which means we can't leave during the investigation phase, and we can't trigger the ability ourselves. Okay, so what we're going to do is we will go to the first Mythos phase of the game. 2 of 8 Doom. Our first encounter card is going to be Fog over Innsmouth. Test 3 willpower. If you succeed, either take 1 horror or put Fog over Innsmouth into play next to the agenda deck. If you fail, do both. Each location gets +1 shroud. Forced at the end of the round, discard 1 copy of Fog over Innsmouth from play. So we're just testing willpower 3. If we fail, we're going to take a horror and put Fog over Innsmouth into play next to the agenda deck. Well, we're going 2v3. I don't really feel like committing anything to this because the shroud value of this location is irrelevant to us. So we get a 0. We do fail. So we're going to take a horror. We'll dump that on Alina. And we will put this Fog next to the agenda deck. We'll just put it in our threat area so we remember it's there. So at the end of the round, we're going to discard a copy of this if we have more than 1, but I don't think that's going to happen. All right, so that is the first Mythos phase. Investigation phase of turn 2. Well, we can't go anywhere. We're stuck. We could play Silas's net and draw a couple cards. That's about it. So let's do that. We'll play the net for 2. And we'll draw 2 cards. We get a Grizzly Totem and a True Understanding. Let me move things around a little bit here so I've got my everything sorted out. Okay. Oh, at the end of last turn we had to do something too. Man, okay, I'm gonna forget all of this stuff. Okay, so at the end of the round, starting with rearmost, set aside each location with no vehicles or enemies or investigators. Stop when you reach a location with at least 1 vehicle, enemy, or the investigator, or the location behind. So we go, these 2 get removed. And we'll move everything over because we're going to need lots of space. And that's about it. Okay, so that was the end of our turn. And at the end of the investigation phase, we must move, but we cannot move because we're taking the long way around. So we'll just go to the upkeep. We draw Sharp Vision. And let's, we have to, again, remove, but we stop when we get to Fork in the Road, so that's that. And we go to turn 3. 3 of 8 Doom, we get Macabre Memento, test 3 willpower. If you reveal a cultist token during this test, you automatically fail. If you fail, take 2 horror. Well, we can't have that. There are no clues at our location. So we can't play Inquiring Mind. We are going 2v3. Yikes. I think we're just going to fail this, unfortunately. We only have 2v3. Let's see what happens. We get a skull. That's a -1, so we're 1v3. But what we can do, we do have a lucky, so let's play the lucky. Alright, and we got to get rid of that. Get rid of the fog over Innsmouth. So we don't take 2 horror. The lucky saves us. Because we only drew a -1. Thank goodness. Alright, let's see what's next. Next Investigator Phase. Alright, we can actually do something. So let us move some of these around so we keep our hand. We know what we've got in our hands. We've got our net and our old key ring. And we get our 3 actions. Now we want to move, I think, this turn, right? Because we're going to have to move at the end of the phase, but we need to move anyway because we lost a turn. So we can use our car. We are the driver's vehicle. Draw the top card of the encounter deck, then move this vehicle to a connecting road location. They're catching up. Resolve the hunter keyword on each enemy in play. If no enemies move as a result of this effect, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a vehicle enemy is discarded and spawn that enemy at the rearmost location. So let me just check that again. So we don't have any enemies moving, so we're going to find a vehicle enemy. Lots of nasty, nasty treacheries in this one. Lots of... the winged one is not a vehicle. Oh, Malfunction is in this deck. Where did all the vehicles go? Are they all in like the bottom half of the deck? There's one. Okay, so we get a hybrid assassin. He spawns at the rearmost location. Okay. But we do get to move. This was our first action. So we move here. What is this place? This is the Desolate Road. Road 1. When a vehicle leaves this location, investigators at this location as a group must spend 1 clue for each investigator in that vehicle. If they cannot, discard cards from the top of the encounter deck until a vehicle enemy is discarded and spawn that enemy at Desolate Road. Limit once per game for each vehicle. It's worth a victory point. Okay, so we spawn a road. Since we're only spawning 1, it comes from the main deck. So that goes there. Oh, man. Long Way Around also affects enemy vehicles, I think. After a vehicle enters Long Way Around, place 1 doom on the current agenda. Yeah, looks that way, eh? So when this guy goes to the Long Way Around, he's going to add a doom to the agenda when he hunts. Yikes. All right, well, we have 2 actions left. We want to grab a clue here. How are we going to do that? We're going to investigate with our old key ring and use Inquiring Mind. I think so. So let us, gets -2 Shroud, and we're going to commit Inquiring Mind to the skill test. So we're going to go 6v2. 6v2. We get a -2, so we pass. Now, what if we pull this back? We'd be 3. -2 would be 1. We wouldn't succeed, so we need to commit that. So we did pass. We remove 1 key. We get this clue, which we're going to need because the Desolate Road is going to spawn an enemy. And that would not be good. All right. that was our second action. We've got one more action to go here. We don't have a lot of resources. But we could, I mean, we could gain a resource so we could play Grizzly Totem. So I'll gain a resource. And so it's the end of the investigation phase. So at the end of the investigation phase, each vehicle is running must move to a connecting location. So Silas drives Alina Harper's car to another desolate road. This one is a different desolate road. It's only a 2-shroud location and it has 2 clues. Road 1. When a vehicle leaves this location, investigators at this location as a group must spend 2 clues for each investigator in that vehicle. If they cannot, discard cards until a vehicle enemy is discarded and spawn that enemy at desolate road. So we had to spend this clue due to that desolate road. We end up at another desolate road. Okay, so that was the end of the investigation phase. How many cards are left in this deck? 9 cards. So we're still quite a ways away yet. So let's go to the enemy phase. Now, actually, this is a recent addition to Octagon. The developers have added this nice identifier for hunter enemies, so you know when they have to move, which is very nice. So the hybrid assassin. Okay, it's a hunter, but it hunts twice. 3 fight, 3 health, 1 evade, hunter, vehicle humanoid hybrid. After hybrid assassin moves via its hunter keyword, if it's unengaged, resolve its hunter keyword again, but it can't. Because after a vehicle enters long way around, place 1 doom on the current agenda. So this, we get another doom. That can't be good. We're already at 4 of 8. And he stops. So he can't move until the end of the next round. But then he's going to hunt twice. If I'm reading this correctly. So he's kind of like the Swift Bayakis from A Phantom of Truth. And those things move multiple times, which is really annoying. All right, we go to the upkeep phase. We draw, there's Peter Sylvester, level 2. We may want to replace Alina with him as soon as possible. Unfortunately, we don't have charisma, so we can't play both. End of the round, we are removing some locations. So starting with rearmost, set each location with no vehicles or enemies aside out of play. Stop when you reach the location with at least 1 vehicle. So we remove this. I assume we remove this other Innsmouth location, but it's kind of irrelevant, so we'll just remove it anyway at this point. I don't know if that's correct or not, but... So the hybrid assassin is the long way around. We are at Desolate Road. We've removed the locations. We go to the Mythos phase, 5 of 8 doom, and we draw an encounter card. There is another hybrid assassin, but this one is on us. So he's engaged with us. All right. So we have drawn, I think all the enemies were in like the bottom half of this deck. There's 8 cards left, and I think they're all enemies, which could be bad for us. All right, so what we need to do this turn, it is turn 4. We get our 3 actions. What we're going to need to do is grab these 2 clues unless we want another enemy. We do have sharp vision, which would help us out with that. We also need to deal with this enemy. Oh, and we need another location. We need a road location. 1 road location in front of us. Okay, so that road location comes out. All right, so we need to deal with this enemy. They deal horror too? Man, oh man. Rough. Alright, well, we can try to evade him. I guess it's just a question of how many enemies do we want to deal with. What does the net do? You get +1 for this evasion. If you succeed and you committed one or more skills to the skill test, you may automatically evade another enemy engaged with you. When this skill test ends, you may return Silas's net to your hand to return all of your committed skills. Okay, so we can get a good evade out of it if we need to. I don't think we're going to use that yet. We have 5 agility as it is, and this guy only has one evade, so I like our odds. So let's... Do we have anything in our discard pile that's worth finding? We've got a lucky and a take heart. I think we'll just go 5v1 to evade this guy. Chaos Bag gives us a skull, which is a -1, because there's still 8. Still 8 cards in the deck. Alright, so this guy is evaded. Pretty easy to evade him. Now we need to grab this clue. So we're going to commit Sharp Vision as our second action. Max 1 committed per skill test. While Sharp Vision is committed during a basic investigate action, it gains 2 intellect skill icons and the text. If this test is successful by 2 or more, discover 1 additional clue. So we are going to go, we're at 3, 4, 5 V2. We're doing a basic investigate. Oh no, we get more. We're 6 V2. And if we succeed by 2 or more, we get extra goodies. So I'm going to commit Resourceful to this. Actually, maybe the Quick Thinking, if I don't want the extra action, I can just pull it back. I mean, I could, if I get an extra action, if this succeeds, I could run. I could keep driving with my car. Draw a top card of Encounter deck and make some more progress. Yeah, let's give it a shot. Why not? This is a blind playthrough. Throw caution to the wind. Okay, so we're going 6v2, 7v2. Chaos Bag gives us a -2, so we're at 5v2. We could pull the Quick Thinking back to go 4v2 and still pass. But I think we'll keep it. So we get these 2 clues. Nice. And we gain an extra action, which we're going to use. We'll use the action from Quick Thinking to move our car. So let's move the car. We have to draw a card first, right? Draw top card of Encounter deck. We get Eyes in the Trees. Test 4 willpower. If you fail, you must either discard an asset you control or discard 1 card from your hand for each point you failed by. If you fail and are in a vehicle, each other investigator in your vehicle must also resolve this effect. Man, there's a lot of willpower tests in this one. Poor Silas isn't much of a driver either, apparently. So we're going to go 2v4. That's not very good. But we could discard Alina and bring out Peter next turn. So, well, we auto-failed. So that saves us a lot of... doesn't leave much room for ambiguity there. So we fail by 4. We could discard all 4 cards in our hand. That's not happening. We will discard an asset we have. I think we're going to discard Alina as much as I want her. I want Peter more. because there's seems to be a lot of horror and willpower, and she doesn't give us that right now. But we do succeed, and we do get to drive. We do get to continue the trip. We end up at, we had to spend those 2 clues too when we left the desolate road, right? We had to spend 2 clues. So we are now at an intersection. 4 shroud location, road 3. 2 clues. As a free triggered ability, investigators at this location may spend 1 clue as a group to look at the revealed side of any location ahead of this one. Okay. So road 2 means we get 1 good and 2 bad roads. So there's our good road. And there's a couple of long way arounds. I think I'm getting the hang of this now. So we'll shuffle those up. Man, that's tough. And we're going to leave this turn, aren't we? So we're probably going to go the long way around again. Can we do anything about it? We have an old keyring charge, which would reduce it to, we're now, since we got rid of Alina, we're down to 3, we're down to 2 intellect. We could go 3v2. Skulls are still -1s. I mean, we might as well. If we can get a clue, then we can peek. And then it's 50-50, right? So that's going to be our last action. We'll commit resourceful. We're going to go 3v2 with the old key ring. Can't commit that. Chaos Bag gives us a cultist. That's a -1. So we succeeded. So we get a card back too. We'll take the lucky, I guess. I could take old keyring, or I could take. So we lose the old keyring, but we get a clue, which we're immediately going to spend to look at a location. Let's look at the bottom one. That's the tight turn. Okay. That's the location we want. Tight turn is road 1. When a vehicle leaves this location, investigators at this location as a group must spend 1 clue for each investigator in that vehicle. For each clue they could not spend, an investigator in that vehicle takes 2 damage. Well, that's not a big deal. But we're going to avoid the long way around, which is good. This guy... he's stuck. I'm going to lock this guy just to remind myself he doesn't move this turn. Okay, so we know which location we need to go to. So we're going to avoid the long way around. End of the investigation phase, we move to a connecting location. So we know we're going this one. So we know we're going to the tight turn. It's road 1. Now the skulls are -3s because there's 6 cards left. All right. Good. Okay. We go to the enemy phase. This guy can't move because he's going the long way around. This guy is exhausted. We go to Upkeep. We draw Unrelenting. Nice. Nice. And we get a resource. And we go to the end of the round. We remove locations. We don't remove any locations because This guy's at the back. Let's move these a little further. We're going to need more space. Okay, so this guy's at the back. So we don't remove any locations. We're going 6 of 8 Doom. I think what we can do is just move these up there, because we know we're going here and here, like so. I think that's it. We added a Doom, we draw a card. We get a hit van, rearmost location, Hunter retaliate, 3 fight, 5 health, 3 evade. Hit van cannot attack during the same phase it moved via its Hunter keyword. So he's way back here. So yeah, he's now. Does spawning there? Does spawning at the rearmost location consider entering it? This may cause the current agenda to advance. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say that yes, he entered that location, so he spawns there, but he is now locked. And this guy will be unlocked because he's going to move next turn. Okay, so that's kind of bad, actually, to have a long way around at the back end, because now anybody who spawns rearmost is going to add Doom, which I don't want. Okay, so that was Mythos phase. It is turn 6. Turn 5? Turn 5, wow. Okay, we add 3. We get our actions back. So this guy at the Desolate Road is going to double move on us. It's going to move twice. So it's going to come to the tight turn. When a vehicle leaves this location. Okay, vehicles at this location. So we're going to just take 2 damage, I think. Because we're not going to waste time trying to grab a clue at a 4-shroud location. So what we'll do, I think first action, we're going to play Peter. Peter's going to join us in the car. Get in the car, Peter. We need you. Peter's in the car. Our willpower goes up to 3, and our agility's back up to 5. I guess we just move, eh? Like, we might as well just keep driving, because these guys are far behind us, and we don't have to spend a clue. We just have to draw the top card of the encounter deck. All right, well, let's do that. We get Fractured Consciousness. So test 3 intellect. If you reveal a tablet token during this test, you automatically fail. If you fail, take 2 damage. Okay, well, what we could do... we're at 2, we'd be 3v3. Let's commit True Understanding to this test. Because if we succeed, we discover this clue, which might actually come in handy. I don't mind taking the damage right now, but the True Understanding would get us a clue, which would be nice to have in our back pocket. Do I want to commit anything else? We've got a lucky just in case. We get a tablet, of course. Okay. The tablet is was that an auto fail? Yeah, we automatically fail into 2 damage. So I'm going to pull the True Understanding back to my hand. I'm going to take 2 damage. Then we're moving from this location. We take another 2 damage. It's not great, but hey, we're moving. So we move to this location. It's another tight turn, but this one is a 3 shroud location, so it's slightly easier. This is our second action. Road 1. So we get another one. Okay, I might actually have to zoom out on this one a little bit here, because we're getting pretty. There's a lot of locations on the table. We have 1 action remaining. We're going to take another 2 damage here, aren't we? So we kind of need a clue. Man, oh man. The skulls are really bad now, aren't they? They're -3s. Oh, it's 1 damage. We take 1 damage if we can't deal with this one. I've already used my ability this turn. What do we do? I guess we play Unrelenting. So we'll go 3v3. And we'll seal some tokens. Do we want to draw cards, or do we want to just deal with the bad stuff? Man, I really don't want to commit Unrelenting. That's just too good a card to burn right now. I go 2v3 with a lucky. It's only 1 damage. Yeah, let's do it. I'm going to go 2v3 with a lucky. We got a -3. We weren't going to pass anyway. Okay, so no problem. All right, that's the end of our turn. So, end of the investigation phase, we have to move to this location. The dimly lit road. When a vehicle leaves this location, investigators at this location as a group must spend 2 clues for each investigator in that vehicle. For each clue they could not spend, an investigator in the vehicle takes 2 horror. So we took a damage, took another damage. We're going to possibly take some horror. Actually, that's not that bad, to be honest, at this point. Okay, so let's move these locations. I'm going to try to do this without actually having to. So we do this. We get another road in front of us. That is the end of the investigation phase. We go to enemy phase. The hit van is locked and does not move. This guy goes vroom, vroom, vroom up to the desolate road, and this guy goes up to the tight turn. Okay, they're in pursuit. They're giving chase. Let's tighten things up a little bit more here. See if we can't keep this without, keep it large enough so people can see. And so that guy's gonna not catch us this turn. This guy will he'll double into the dimly lit road. So I need to discover 1 clue at the dimly lit road, ideally. We can do that. We can do that. Maybe I should have taken the old keyring. That might have been a better choice. We get another grizzly totem. We just haven't had the chance to play those yet. We go to upkeep. We are advancing. We are advancing. We get the Terror of Devil Reef. Spawn rearmost location. Hunter Massive Retaliate. Did we add a Doom for that one? No, we just add the top card of the deck, don't we? How are we adding Doom? Oh, it was the long way around. That's how we were adding the extra Doom. Okay, so the Terror of Devil Reef, rearmost location, Hunter Massive Retaliate. When the Terror of Devil Reef would be defeated, instead of remove all damage from it and exhausted, cannot be ready for remainder. Well, it's kind of stuck there. Is it a, yeah, it's a hunter, so it's going to chase us, but it's pretty far away. Is that it for the agenda deck? Yeah. Oh no. Agenda 2A, Hot Pursuit. Yeah, okay. We only have one act. We have two agendas. Okay, Agenda 2A is Hot Pursuit. The order is out for blood. As an additional cost for you to move while not in a vehicle, spend 2 actions at the end of the round, starting with the rearmost location. Set each location with no vehicles, enemies, or investigators aside out of play. I'm not entirely sure if I played this correctly, but so at the end of the round, starting with the rearmost location, set each location with no vehicles, enemies, or investigators aside out of play. Stop when you reach a location with at least one vehicle, enemy, or investigator. Yeah, I know. I think I'm doing this right. Like, these locations would have been removed a lot sooner had this not been here. Well, maybe I've screwed this up, but I think I'm doing it okay. I'm doing it right. All right, well, the big guy is way back there with the hit van, who is no longer locked in place. Okay, so where were we in this thing? We advanced and we get to draw an encounter card. We get, I can't see. If you are not in a vehicle, test 5 willpower. If you fail, you take 3 horror. In a vehicle, that vehicle tests 3 willpower. If the driver fails, each investigator in your vehicle takes 2 horror. So we're going 3v3. We do have a lucky. We do have a true understanding, which would get us a clue. I'm going to commit the true understanding and the unrelenting. So we're going 4v3. We're going to seal some tokens. Skulls are -3s. Those are -4s. Okay, so we're going to seal the -4, the -4. Those are -1s. And what are those? -2s? Is there a -3? No, there's just, there's skulls are -3, so we'll seal a skull too. Okay. Alright, so we've sealed the tokens. We might as well get rid of all the doom on this dude, since he doesn't have doom on him anymore. All right, we're going 4v3. Chaos Bag gives us a -1, so we pass. we are going to let the True Understanding ride and pull the Unrelenting back. So those tokens go back. We gain a clue from True Understanding. And is that it? I think that's it. We don't take any horror, so that's good. All right, thanks, Peter. Peter is my co-pilot. Keeps the windshield clear. Lets me see the road clearly. Good work, Peter. He's got the map, too. Peter's a good navigator. All right, enough of this banter. Let us move on. It is the next investigation phase. Like, I feel like I'm playing this right, but man, I feel like I'm also playing it horribly wrong the whole time, and I'm not sure which way is which. So we're going to get 3 actions. Now we have a clue. So we take 1 horror, but Peter can deal with that for us. We could try to grab another clue here, but I feel like if Peter can soak the horror for us, we're okay. How many locations? We got 4 locations left. We don't have enough resources for a grizzly totem yet, which would be good. We may need to draw some cards, which means we have to let Unrelenting go, but we've already pulled a card back this turn. It's once per turn, right? Once per round, yeah. Okay, so do we... Question is, do we take the 2 horror? I feel like we can. I feel like maybe we throw it and investigate here. See if we can't grab a clue. Another clue. Maybe spend a clue. We move again and then try to... Because we're going to move twice that way. So let's try to grab a clue. We're going to go 2v2. Chaos Bag says -1. We could throw a lucky to that. I think I'm going to. I want a clue. And that's worth a victory. That one isn't worth a victory point. Damn it. Which ones are worth victory point? The intersection was worth a victory point. The desolate roads are worth victory points. None of these. I didn't do any of those. So far I've only got 2 victory points. That's what I got the last scenario. So, all right. Well, so we investigated. We're going to move again. We're going to use the car. Draw the top card of the encounter deck. Ancient Evils. So we place a Doom. Place a Doom. That's fine. I'm okay with that. And we move to this location. So we investigated, we moved. We're at another intersection. See, here's where we get stuck with the long way around, right? But we have a clue. So we can check. We have a clue. That's why we wanted to keep a clue. Or do we? Yeah, so we keep a clue. So we take a horror. So Peter will take the horror from that dimly lit road. We move. We do have a clue that we could spend. This is road 3, eh? So we have to do 1 good one and 2 bad ones. Shuffle those up. Okay, so we put those 3 in front of us. If we could get a second clue, we could check 2 and we'd know exactly where we have to go. That would be really good, but we need some luck. I say we just... Oh man, we spend a clue, we get to look at 1, and we can try to grab a clue, but we don't have anything really. We'd be going 2v3, which is not... What's our elder sign? 0. But commit, which would help us. 2 tokens in the bag. I don't have anything else to do but draw a card, but then we get our weakness. I mean, I haven't hardly played any cards this turn. I feel like we just investigate. We just take the risk. We get a -4. If you fail, resolve the hunter keyword on each enemy in play. Okay, well that didn't work out for us so well. So this guy hunters. And he hunters again. So he's going to catch us this time. This guy hunters and hunters again. This guy hunters. This guy hunters. Okay, so we could be in trouble, but we're going to spend our clue. We're going to look at the bottom one. It's the long way around, so we're 50-50. We're 50-50 shot here. So that was our last action. So at the end of the investigation phase, we move. We'll move to the middle one. Come on, give me this one. Yeah, we got it. Haha, we found the tight turn. So we move here. All right, we'll deal with this mess in a second. So we go to the enemy phase. So this guy hunters twice. So does he... So I take a horror. Actually, Peter removes that horror because he's going to take another here. So Peter's going to take a horror from that dude. This guy goes zoom to the dimly lit road. This guy goes lurching forward slowly. And the hit van is going to lurch forward slowly. So the terror's not too terrifying. Okay, that was the enemy phase. Peter took the horror for us. We drew our weakness. That's too bad. Campaign Marrow, secretly add this card to your hand. When the game ends, if you are eliminated, if this card is in your hand, you earn 2 fewer experience points. After you successfully investigate a location with no clues on it, we can discard this card. But there are 2 clues on this location, which is rough. Rough. Okay, so I guess we go to the end of the turn and we remove this one and we add that to the victory display. The hit van and our terror friend. How do I get rid of the highlight? Clear highlight. Okay. Let's move all these over. So we know those 2 are bad. We know this tight turn, road 1. So we get another road. There are only 2 locations left. When a vehicle leaves this location, investigators must spend 2 clues. For each clue they could not spend, they take 2 damage. thing we have 10, we have 9 health. Man, oh man. Okay. So that's everything. How many cards are left in the deck? 3. So we go to Mythos Phase, 2 of 9 Doom. We draw another hit van. So the hit vans and the terror from Devil Reef are all hanging out at the Desolate Road, slowly making their way towards us. I don't think they're much of a threat. We've been moving 2 locations a turn pretty consistently. I'm not too sure we're going to be able to keep up that momentum, though. All right, we go to turn 7. Is that only turn 7? Gee whiz. Turn 7, we gain our 3 actions. We're engaged with this dude. We can evade him. 5v1. Get a -2, so he's evaded. Put him up here. Probably just get rid of those, but since we know what they are. We've got 2 actions left. This guy is going to hunt twice to the tight turn. We're going to take 2 damage unless we get a clue here. Man, it's endgame here. I think we let the Unrelenting go to draw some cards. Maybe. We're going to commit the Unrelenting. We're going to seal good tokens, I think. We need cards. We're really low. Actually, we've got 2 actions left. Do we just take the 2 damage? Draw a card and take 2 damage? I don't know. Seems dangerous. Let's just draw a card. See what we get. We get a Take Heart. That does the same thing if we fail. So we're going to investigate. We're going 2v2. Chaos Bag gives us a Cultist. For each point you fail by, an investigator in your vehicle places 1 of your clues on your location. We don't have any clues. So we get 2 cards. We get a Not Without a Fight in the Sea Change Harpoon and 2 resources. Okay. We drew a card and then investigated and failed. At the end of the investigation phase, we move here. Falcon Point approach. If each undefeated investigator is at Falcon Point approach, advance. So did I win? I think. So we advance. We get our 1. Safe at last? I think we've lost them, Agent Harper shouts, peeking her head out of the car window. We threw her out of the car, and Peter's my co-pilot now. You glance at your rearview mirror and confirm that you are no longer see the glaring headlights of your pursuers. Warm relief flutters through you. It is finally over. R1. Okay, so I think we won, but I don't think we got anything out of it, to be honest, because we only got 2 VPs. And then we had our weakness, which means we lose 2 XP. Right? All right, well, I think, I don't know, did I play it correctly? Part of me feels like I didn't. Part of me feels like it does. I have no idea, to be honest. The whole starting at the rearmost location thing... Set each location with no vehicles, enemies, or investigators aside out of play. Stop when you... So I feel like you start at the end and work your way down and stop as soon as you hit something. And because we had the long way around at the back, we always had people at the back. And we were able to make enough progress. We double moved quite a few times, so we were able to put some distance between ourselves. And we got lucky in that both times we hit the intersection. We hit 2 intersections both times. We were lucky enough to get the right location, and we didn't end up having to be delayed. So, I think we won. Didn't earn any XP. That kind of sucks, as far as I know. Let's check the resolution. Alright, R1. You breathe a sigh of relief as you see the distant lighthouse beacon pierce the fog. Let's pull over here and make the rest of the trip on foot, Harper suggests. She's very masculine. If there's anybody still in that lighthouse, it would be best if they didn't hear us approach. Her advice is sound. You're not sure what to expect once you reach Falcon Point, but all signs point to it being another outpost for the Order. You double-check to make sure you aren't being followed, then pull over to the side of the road. Gathering your belongings from the car's trunk, you begin to trek to Falcon Point Lighthouse. In your campaign log, record the investigators reached Falcon Point before sunrise. Each investigator earns XP equal to the victory X value of each card in the victory display, which was 2, but then we lost 2. And so we get nothing. And we had 17 cards in our deck too. But we haven't actually dealt with our weakness, Unspeakable Oath, Curiosity in any of the scenarios. I think we dealt with it once in the first scenario, and we didn't earn XP anyway, so it didn't matter. So this is the first time it's cost us XP, so I guess that's okay. I'll take it. But that's going to do it for my blind playthrough of Horror in High Gear. I hope to hell I played this properly. I'm not entirely sure if I did or not, but I'm sure you will let me know down in the comments. If you notice any mistakes, do let me know. I always appreciate your feedback. I'll be back with A Light in the Fog. That is the next scenario we're going to play in this campaign. Hopefully Silas can continue to do well. We didn't have any malfunctions this time, so not too bad. But I'll be back with Light in the Fog. I hope that you'll stay tuned for that, and thanks very much for watching. That's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed what you hear, remember to like, comment, and subscribe. If you need to contact me, I can be reached at manfromleng@gmail.com. I'm also on Twitter at manfromleng. Until the stars are right, keep your shotgun close and your other sign closer. Take care out there, and happy investigating.